looking for an air purifier. And this is Peter Mann, CEO of Oransi.
Electric motor technology company with a sustainable mission. You're just moving air through a filter, but the motor is the engine for it. The largest innovation in electric motors since the 1960s. So nobody has this type of a motor in appliances. So I wanted to, kind of really dig in and find ways to clean the air effectively, but also safely.
Listen up, America. This is the American Made Podcast, the show that highlights America's business leaders and experts in all aspects of the manufacturing industry. If it's made in America, you'll find it here.
China. Made in America. Products made with American heart, American sweat.
Now, your host of the American Made Podcast, Jason J. Webb.
What's up, America? It's Jason Webb with the American Made Podcast. With me today is Peter Mann, the CEO of Oransi. Did I get that right, Peter?
Yeah, Oransi, yeah.
Oransi. First of all, that's a very unique name. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's actually the Finnish word for orange. My grandmother came from Finland, and she was influential in my life. And I grew up in Syracuse, which is the orange. So it's kind of a combination of the two. Yeah.
Okay. And let's just, I guess, jump right into it. What is it that Oransi does? What's your main product? I know it has to do with air purification systems. Is that right?
Yeah, right now we're a manufacturer of HEPA air purifiers. We merged with an electric motor technology company a little over 2 years ago. And so I would say now we're an electric motor technology company with a sustainable mission. And so we're in the process of reshoring manufacturing to make air purifiers here in Virginia. But we're using the motor technology as a platform to really build anything we want that has an electric motor. So it's going to be pretty exciting for us going forward.
Well, how did you go from air purifiers to electric motors?
Yeah, well, we in the past we've designed the products, but we've always had them contract manufactured. And then when we merged with the motor company, with that came a ton of engineering tech experience. And they developed a proprietary motor technology that really gives us best-in-class performance in an affordable price, which is really key to reshoring. And so, leveraging, the engineering team that we have here with, all of the sales, marketing, and design experience that we brought with Oransi, it's a really good match.
So it was a merger,
Yeah, we did a merger.
I was doing the air purification thing, and then we got the electric motor company over here. Mm-hmm. Two of you combined forces. Was there a motor? I'm assuming there's got to be some kind of motor or system to make the air purifiers work. Is that kind of the modify? Is that the reason why the two of you merged, or what's the fit there?
Yeah, well, an air purifier is really just a motor, and then attached to the motor's fan system, and then a filter. That's pretty much what it is. You're just moving air through a filter, but the motor is the engine for it. And so we started down the path of working with this company to develop some air purifiers. And as we got further into it, we said, you know what, we can really be vertically integrated if we just merge the businesses together and not, have to have two different parties and have them act as a contract manufacturer, which is, present some challenges. And so this way we're really, really tight, and we can take things from components and raw materials to, make the finished good and market it and deliver it to the end user. So really, a really nice vertical integration.
And how long ago did the merger take place?
It was the summer of 2021, kind of in the middle of COVID.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that presents challenges, I suppose.
No, not too bad. I mean, the air purifier market just kind of blew up during COVID. People we do most of our selling online, and online, of course, blew up. And then people were looking for ways to clean the air of the virus. And so the air purifier market just got quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And so the timing of that was pretty good. And the guys that we merged with, I've known them for 6-7 years. And so it's it's just a really good match.
Were you already using their electric motors in your air purifiers prior to the merger?
No, we have most of the stuff we contract manufacture out of China. And we had worked for 8 or 9 years with a contract manufacturer in Connecticut. The problem there was just cost. It was just every year it went up significantly to the point we had to really price at a premium, and it starts to price most of the people out of the market. And so our goal was to reshore manufacturing, but do in a way that's competitive with the import prices.
Okay, so you bring in the offshore manufacturing, or at least part of it, back over to America. Is that right?
Yeah, we're not going to make the products that are currently made in China here because there's too many parts and there's too much labor involved, and it just doesn't make sense financially. But we've developed some new products and we're making those here. We're in the process of launching in the next couple of weeks.
And price difference wise, can you give me an idea of like having those products manufactured in China versus United States?
Yeah, so it really comes down to labor. The components don't really cost that much different depending upon where you source them from. It all comes down to labor. And so for us to be price competitive, we really had to reduce the parts and simplify things and take steps out of it. There's 2 ways to go. You can either automate and just not have people and just have machines make it, but that's super expensive upfront. Or you could build it into the design of the product. And, if you can reduce the part count by 50%, you've really reduced your labor cost, and that, can make you competitive.
And regarding your air purifiers, is there something that separates you from your competitors, or is it mainly price? You found a way to keep your price down?
No, I mean, the motor technology is a real advantage. That we have a proprietary motor technology that we say it's the largest innovation in electric motors since the 1960s. It's really phenomenal what my business partners come up with, and that's what I invested in. And then we ended up merging the businesses because it is making the highest end motor, but he figured out a way of making it very low cost and scalable, which is not something you can normally do with that type of a motor. And so nobody has this type of a motor in appliances because it's too expensive the way they're currently made. And so we have a huge, I think, competitive advantage and a really strong story with, just a better technology that's the engine for our machines.
And now that you have the merger that's taken place and you got the electric motor component that's all in one, what are the other business segments, if any, that you're looking to get into?
That's kind of the problem, is there's like so many choices, but the advantages where this plays the best is anything that's high speed, high torque, right, and quiet. And so you can kind of think through some kitchen appliances or some home and garden products or all kinds of things. And so we're, kind of looking at a number of different projects. But right now, our focus is on just getting the first air purifiers launched, improving the technology. And then I see us pretty quickly stepping into some other categories, but, more in the home appliance, kitchen type products.
You said get your air purifiers launched, but I have the understanding, like during COVID and such, you were already selling these, right?
Well, the ones that were contract manufactured, we've been selling. I started the business in 2009. We've been selling these we've developed products and sold them for a long time. But the ones that we're reshoring, we're launching in a couple of weeks with our new motor technology. So that's all new.
Gotcha. And the end users typically find your products and buy them directly from you online. Is that right?
Yeah, from our website and Amazon mostly.
How is it dealing with Amazon? I haven't really spoke to anybody that sold any products on Amazon.
Well, as a consumer of Amazon, they're great. As a vendor to Amazon, I've yet to meet anyone that has had a pleasurable experience. They've kind of structured things to where they do everything they can to grow market share and take care of their customers. And if so, it's kind of like the customers first, they're second, and then their vendors are kind of third. It's the pecking order, and it just is what it is. But the thing is, they have such strong market share. If you go online and buy something, they're 40 to 50% of the market. And so it's like you kind of have to be in that marketplace, to play. And, there's so much of what goes on, and the media that review products, the ad advertising's dropped. And so they get a lot of their funds from commissions or affiliate programs, and they all want to go to Amazon because the Amazon has a really, really good affiliate program.
Okay. So let's see. So do you have your products at their fulfillment centers, or you get an order in and you ship it directly from your warehouse? How does that work?
We used to use their Amazon FBA, but we've shifted it to where we're shipping direct from our facility to the end user. Amazon, it was just a lot more efficient, because we're saving shipping to Amazon and paying warehouse fees and pick, pack, and ship fees at Amazon facilities. But you lose the Prime badge is the only issue in that. But what we've seen is not a drop in conversion rates in doing that. So it's really just been maybe 10% cost savings. It's been pretty significant. And Amazon's kind of scratching their heads because they want you to use their fulfillment center. So we're like a little bit of an anomaly in that respect.
Sure. So rather than getting it in 2 days on Prime, I mean, how much delay is there if it's not a Prime type item?
Yeah, well, we're in Virginia, so we can get 2/3 of the population within 2 days just shipping from our facility. It's more the West Coast, which is probably 5 days. It's California and Washington. That's really where the difference is. But if you're in the center of the country to the East Coast, almost all of that we get within 2 days via ground.
And how do we find your product on Amazon, or what website do we go to find your product to buy direct from you?
Yeah, our website is oransi.com, ORANSI.com. And if you search for Oransi or Purifiers on Amazon, we're sure to come up.
How did you ever get into this business? And can you give me a little bit about your background? Where are you from? Where'd you go to college? And why air purifiers?
Yeah, so I grew up in Syracuse, New York. I went to University of Rochester, which is kind of 90 minutes down to Interstate 90. And from there, I went into the Navy. I served in the first Gulf War, and then decided I didn't want to do that. It's kind of funny. We were all like in the ROTC, and then we went to military, and we never thought we'd go to a war. Right. How naive was I to get sent over to the Middle East? So, anyways, after that, I got out, and then I spent 10 years through the 90s and early 2000s in the computer industry. And so I was at Tech Data, which is a really large computer distributor. And then I was at Dell, where I developed functionality for Dell.com. And I also was in marketing and involved in the Dell printer launch and pricing strategy and some kind of cool stuff where I kind of learned this is how you bring a product to market. And so I never took a business class in school, but it was kind of the 10 years in the computer industry was kind of my on-the-job MBA, I like to say. And then the dot-com bubble burst hit in the 2002, 2003 timeframe. And then I started an e-commerce business with another guy, and that was my night job. So I was at Dell from 8 to 5. And then 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., I was working on developing an e-commerce business. And so we sold, all kinds of different things. This is when Amazon was like moving from books into some other categories, but they had no phone support. And so we thought, well, let's sell some things that require consultative type of support. So we were doing tankless water heaters and portable air conditioning systems. We did some air purifiers, and that's kind of where I got the taste of the industry and what customers were looking for. And then in 2009, I sold my half the business to start Oransi. But really the push, the emphasis there was my son struggled with asthma, and, I was really looking for a solution to help him and people like him just to breathe better. Because I could see when pollen counts were high or some other things would trigger him. It was largely air quality related. And so I wanted to, kind of really dig in and find ways to clean the air in effectively, but also safely.
Cool. So you had the one of the primary motivators was because of your son. And where were you living at this time?
At that time, I was in Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Oh yeah, we're in Virginia now. I moved I relocated to, where all the engineers were. This part of Virginia is kind of interesting. There's like a handful of electric motor companies. There's probably 2,500, engineering type people here that have all kinds of knowledge, but they do a lot of government or, business applications that they don't talk about. So it's not marketed. But there's this like niche of really all this electric motor technology in this area near Virginia Tech,
Cool.
where we are. And so it's, I kind of decided, well, we're going to be an electric motor technology company. We need to be where the engineering talent is for that.
Yeah. And when you're living in Austin, Texas, I actually lived there for 4 years myself. I lived in a suburb of Austin called Lakeway.
Yeah.
And I had a chiropractic office in Bee Cave.
Yeah.
And the pollen that you're talking about, is that from the cedar trees? They call it like cedar fever down there.
Yeah, it's a juniper tree, but they call them cedar trees. But yeah, in January, the cedar fever is off the charts. And, I would go on vacation in January just to, to avoid it because it's debilitating.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It would cover the cars in pollen down there.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot of the oak pollen too. In the spring was really bad. Yeah. Austin's bad for allergies. Summers aren't bad but it doesn't rain and it's 100 degrees.
Right. All right. Well, you got a lot going on. And so your air purifiers are available right now. You're bringing the electric motor back, onshoring and putting that into your products. And that's going to be released here in a couple of weeks, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and they can buy your air purifiers now on your website or going to Amazon. I assume you prefer they go to your website and buy them direct, or doesn't it matter?
I mean, to me, it's whatever's best for the customer. We have to pay a commission to Amazon, so it's more profitable to buy from our website, and it ships from the same place. But I know, like I as a consumer probably buy from Amazon, especially if it's a site that I don't know, because I know I could easily return it if it's a problem. But yeah, to us, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap it up?
No, I'm really excited about this, the whole reshoring, the responsible manufacturing, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I know there's a lot of government money going in to try and bring manufacturing back. And, I grew up in an area that was just kind of decimated with all the jobs leaving in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so to me, it's just pretty rewarding to kind of, flip the script a little bit.
Yeah.
And, pay people a living wage, but, find smarter ways to make products to still be competitive, because price is the biggest issue. If you can't make it price competitively, you're dealing in like a sliver of the market. And so, so it's anyways, I'm just feels really grateful to gotten where we are and really looking forward to, kind of what's ahead.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, again, this is Peter Mann, CEO. Their website is oransi.com. And if you're looking for an air purifier, and this is it mostly for home use, or can it be commercial use, or who's your biggest customer?
We've sold like through COVID a ton to schools.
Okay.
It's school systems, especially a lot in California, have just put these in, a couple in every classroom in the entire school system. But really it's home office, really where people spend time in a kind of a home type environment, which a classroom is somewhat like that, as is an office.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, I appreciate your time, Peter, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the American Made Podcast. Want to be a guest on American Made or know someone who should be? Apply online at theamericanmadepodcast.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app to be notified when new episodes become available. And we'll see you next time on American Made.